afternoon, flosstube. This is Gem Stitch here for my March-April update. It's Sunday the 23rd of April, so happy St George's Day to all my English followers. I'm trying not to say I've already recorded this video and I said it so many times that I can't actually even bear listening to it myself. So I'm just going to try not to do it. Anyway, let's start again. So, happy St George's Day. We don't have any plans, me and my husband, today to do anything. Unfortunately, my husband was called out to work, so he's not here anyway. We're just going to be having a chill out day with a roast dinner. So, very British. But yeah, so I'm going to really try not to do it. Anyways, as you know, my last update was actually the 1st of April, so it was late. So therefore I'm not going to show you any progress on my March project, because I showed it to you on April 1st. I then went away for a week. It was to do with my husband's, a present from my parents, and it was to do with my husband's 40th birthday, so that was really lovely. So yeah, I didn't really get too much stitching done in that time, and equally, just to let you know, that's why I didn't respond straight away to all your wonderful comments, which I always appreciate. So yeah, that was basically what happened. So what have I been up to then? So my plan of action was, as you know, I follow the Stitch Mania sales. This April was architecture stitch along. So I did have a project in mind. The project that I chose to do was the Jaga project. This is by Fairy Wool in the Woods. She also has a blog spot. She has an Etsy shop, and Fairy Wool in the Woods is all one word. She also has a blog spot though, but I believe there's Cassandra Fairy Wool in the Woods, but I will put that information in the information box below. It's put me all out of whack now. I did also want to thank the two ladies. When I originally uploaded my last video, and it then started to become a time crunch, two ladies let me know that there was a sound issue. I have limited technological experience, so the only way I could do it to alter that in the end was to actually withdraw that video and then re-upload it. It had about 50 viewings, so I apologise if you liked it and then all of a sudden it was withdrawn. That wasn't me being ungrateful, it's because apparently there was a sound issue with it. The second one I uploaded didn't seem to have a problem, and I've made a note of what to check before I upload a video now. So thank you to those two ladies that let me know that there was an issue. It was much appreciated. Anyway, back to Jaga. So that's the pattern, and this, I decided to stitch it on a piece of fabric that I'd hand dyed myself. The fabric was already quite a raw, sort of uneven linen, and what I believe was a 28 count before I dyed it. Now obviously in the dyeing process sometimes it can shrink the fabric, so I'm not sure what it is now, to be honest. So that's why I put things like 28 count, 1/1, question mark, because I'm not 100% sure what it is. But I only wanted a small ornament, and this is what I managed to fully finish. So I stitched the Jaga pattern itself with all the recommended threads. This is all charted in DMC except the black, which I switched out for anchor black. So I stitched that, and it has got, you can probably see, you can see it more because it's got brown surrounding it. There's yellow, and there's a yellow moon, and there's some yellow stars, but I felt that the yellow stars were getting lost. There was a lot more on my choice of fabric that I'd chose. So I had these bronze stars, and I thought, well, they'd look good. So I put those on there. And I also put some little bronze skulls as well to match the little skeletons down here. So it's a pouch. so I lined it. And basically I used the tutorial, the project bag tutorial by Vonna, the Twisted Stitcher, which is a fabulous tutorial, but instead of putting a lid on it or a flap over, I didn't. So I just turned it into a pouch, but it's pretty much exactly the same. As you can see, it's exactly the same sort of process. So, and as regards this little trim here, this was obviously the same fabric, but when I dyed it, it frayed at the end, but I quite liked it, so I just hand stitched that on to give it a bit of decoration, prim style. So yeah, still the stitched fabric on the back. So I'm quite pleased with that. I think it will look good with some little Halloweeny lolly sticks and things like that in there. I actually think it's quite sweet. I might use it throughout the year. I just like it. But yeah, so that's my Baba Yaga fully finish. So technically I've got my architect sale done. Started and finished, so that left me with some opening space of things to do. I did have one thing left to do, which was I'm going to a stitching retreat in October, Milton Keynes stitching retreat, which will be fabulous. I'm really looking forward to it. And there was a request that we do a letter to either be turned into bunting or wall hanging, I'm not sure, but it was to be within a certain size, but the pattern and the choice, the colours, everything was entirely down to you. It just had to be hand washable. So I did do that letter. This is my letter here. So this is obviously a G, and then scissors and flowers. Now this is all done in DMC, and this is mushroom 32 count Murano, so it's all hand washable. Now I actually Frankensteined, I don't think that is a word, but it is now because I've made it up. I Frankensteined two projects together, so you may recognise that this G is very similar style to the letters that I did in the Bethany sampler, and that's because I did take it from the alphabet in the Bethany sampler, but then I took the scissors and these flowers were like a motif from another sampler by the same company, and the company is called Les Broderies Parisiennes. I'll put the information box down below. I'll put the information in the information box down below. And yeah, so I sort of Frankensteined the two together. So whereas this should have had a cake here, I inserted this motif and then made up any bits that needed to be filled in between. So I just want to back that with a bit of fusible interface behind to give, so that Bonnie, Purple Frog Stitches, hi Bonnie, doesn't have to do that. It's going to save her a job, so I'll do that, and then I will send it to her. I was meant to do it last week, but I didn't get a chance, so I intend to get that all ready, and I will be taking it with me tomorrow, and I will do it while I'm at work. Well, not while I'm at work, but during my break. So yeah, that is my letter. So I got that started and finished as well. So this is kind of been one of those months where I've done lots of little things. I've tried to tie up lots of sort of little loose ends because I've got such a early finish. That left me with obviously other time. So I decided to work, I'm looking at what I've got. I decided to work on the Tulip Pixie. I do that every Monday if I'm going to stitch. I don't stitch every Monday, but if I get a chance to, then I will stitch on the Tulip Pixie by Nora Corbett. So she was a focus piece for me in January, and obviously any Mondays that I've been able to stitch on her since. So this is what she looks like. And this was the piece that I asked at the end of last year if I could all have your opinion on what fabric, because I had two fabrics that I wanted to use, and I wanted your opinion, so you voted, and I thank you very much for that. And it ended up being on Ocean Depths by Sparklies. So this is a 32 count Belfast linen Ocean Depths by Sparklies, and I love her, and I've actually obviously finished her and managed to get her framed this morning. Obviously she doesn't fit perfectly in the frame, but I didn't want to square a frame, I wanted to elongate her. So actually I don't mind that there's this extra fabric here because the fabric is so beautiful. I quite like the fact that you can see more of it. So yeah, I wasn't too sure on these beads are ginormous, and the fact that there's more on one side than the other slightly bothered me, but obviously not enough to change it. So I'm going with the design on that one. The one thing I did change, everything is stitched as requested. Oh, the skin's 1/1, but other than that, everything is stitched as charted, DMC, everything. The only thing I did change is that in the wings, and you can see it more in person, you might be able to pick it up a little bit, they wanted to use acrylic called Mallard, which is actually quite dark. I haven't got it here with me. It's actually quite dark, and personal preference, I think that fairy wings should be sort of like dragonfly, like iridescent. So I had this issue with when I stitched a deer about 2 years ago, and they wanted this dark. I mean, it looks good on there, but is it because she's backed on white? See, I stitched a deer on a coloured fabric, and I just felt it was too harsh. So I swapped it out and stitched it with PB27. This looks quite silver because of the light that I'm needing to use, because it's quite a dull day today. But it has actually got an iridescence to it. So it has actually got colours in it. And I used that for the veining in a deer's wings, and I've actually used it for the veining in here. And I know you can't really see that on the screen, but you can see it in person, and I just prefer it. I feel it's a little bit more delicate. So, and I signed it here. So yeah, I'm really pleased. So hopefully I'll get to put that up on my wall very soon in here. So yeah, so that was a good finish, which leaves me then with what am I going to do? There's not much time left, but what am I going to do until May? So there is a project that I really wanted to get finished this year, if I can. It is going to be a focus piece in a couple of months' time, so we'll have hopefully a whole month to finish it, but why not make sure of that by adding in, if I've got spare time, by adding in. So this is Glendon Place Sleepy Hollow, and I've actually completed, because I've still got it on the frame, I've actually, just for the record, completed all of this. So just this patch here I haven't done. Obviously all the border, except any border that's down here, so not this patch and not here, I haven't finished that, but the rest is done. So that's why, if I get the opportunity to stitch on it, even if it's only a couple of stitches, then that's a couple of less stitches I need to do it while it's a focus piece. So that's what I'm stitching on. And this, I'm not going to put in a before picture because it's really not worth it. This is where I am now, and basically I've managed to just stitch a leg. So you can see where I kind of was, where the square, where it squares off, that's obviously one page as such. So this fabric is 28 count cashel linen. It's by Sparklies, it's an opalescent, and it's in the colourway Winter Skies. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm really pleased with this fabric, and I can see me using this again. Maybe not in 28 count, but the pattern called for 28 count. And there are beads on here as well, so I didn't want to mess around with changing beads out. So I have also changed this. The moon should be charted in Karen Water Lilies. It's lemon and lime. This is actually a glow in the dark thread by DMC. So I changed that out. But other than that, everything is exactly as. It's all DMC except the black, which is anchor black. So I don't know if you can see the opalescent. But yeah, it's a beautiful fabric, and it would be nice to get this finished this year. And the needle minder is a Denkai needle minder. So yeah, my plan of action will be to work on that until the 1st of May. Now, for the first time since being part of the flosstube community and joining Stitch Mania, I'm actually going to do Stitch Mania. So, but I am going to put that in a different video for people that might not be interested. So that's why I wanted this to be a regular update. So for till the end or beginning of May, that will be what I'll be working on mainly. I have got some on-the-go projects, or some projects that I stitch downstairs if me and my husband are watching telly together. That's the Country Cottage Needleworks, the Gingerbread Village. I don't class them as being really involved in anything because they're just something to stitch on in case I need it, like my work projects, that sort of thing. They don't have a deadline, as opposed to the others that I try and get more focused pieces. So Glendon Place Sleepy Hollow will be what I'll work on until the 1st of May, and then just for the people that aren't interested in Stitch Mania, I'm doing 12 projects. So hopefully from the 12th of May roughly till then, the 1st of June, Glendon Place will also be what I will go back to and stitch on. So that's my plan of action, really, what I'll be doing next month. I am doing Stitch Mania next month. I will do a separate video about it. Sorry about that. Let's just alter that again. I think I ran out of disk space. So there you go, just as I was finishing. So I'm not sure where I was. Oh, basically explaining what I'm doing. So hopefully there'll be another Stitch Mania video that I'll be doing soon, and I'll get a chance to upload to let you know my Stitch Mania plans. If you're just interested in my normal monthly updates, then Glendon Place is pretty much what I'm planning on working on for the rest of this month, and then going into next month as well. There was a request for me to, I will just mention, there was a request for me to talk about my table decorations in regards to, I mentioned that I've got like a little seasonal table set up. I'm pretty new to that. I haven't done it before. I haven't, spent, or I haven't necessarily got all the things to do with that. I mean, there's lots of people out there, people like the Primitive Stitcher, Bekisland, the Night Owl Stitcher, and those sort of people. They do beautiful displays with their projects, and I feel that it's a bit like Christmas decorations. You get your first Christmas tree and then you slowly build. You don't have them all at once, you slowly build on them. And that's what I'm starting to do, but I've started it this year. I'm slowly building seasonal decorations. Now, as you know, I don't have a load of stitched ornaments ready, which I'm hoping to plan to change, but I can't just make them happen. So obviously I've got to sort of fill in the gaps in between. So I will discuss my plans, what my table, I'm going to be changing out my table very soon as well, like in May. So I felt that there wasn't really much point me showing you what my table looks like now if I'm going to change it out soon. So yeah, I feel it'd be better if I wait, because I'll have more time to discuss it next month and talk about plans of my plans, how to try and do things on a budget, and different things to use. Dough bowls are beautiful and they're really nice. They can be a bit pricey, and you know, it doesn't have to be a dough bowl. There's lots of options out there that you can, you know, if you've got a little bit of room or a windowsill or something, you can make something look pretty. Or so it's just going to be my viewpoint and my take on things, and how I try and do things on a budget, and sort of stuff that I'm picking up along the way, and stuff that I keep hold of, not necessarily hoarding, but stuff that I think that could be useful for a decoration for blah blah blah. So, you know, but I'm going to sort of go more in depth. So I didn't forget about it, but I will do it next month and not this month. And I'll go more in depth about my little table display. Don't get me wrong, it's nothing super amazing. It's not on any of the league of the ladies that I've spoken about before, but it's my take on it. And if I get so much inspiration from you guys in this community, I feel it's only fair that if I can give you something back in that sense, then you may be able to say, oh, I've got something similar to that and I quite like that look, so I'll replicate it. That's what, for me, that's the greatest compliment. So, but I'll talk about that next month. So I'm hoping that I can piece these two videos together, otherwise one's going to cut off real abrupt. So thank you very much for all your support, all your lovely comments. They're always appreciated. And hopefully I will see you soon. For some people, very soon, because I'm hoping to do a video soon. And then, if not, next month. So, happy St George's Day, and take care everybody, and take care of each other. Happy stitching. Bye bye.